The IPL is back with a fine display from Sunrisers Hyderabad on their first defence, if you like, of their IPL title from last year. They played the same opponents as they beat in that final, the Royal Challengers Bangalore, albeit a side without captain Virat Kohli and AB de Villiers, both struggling with injury. Kohli, of course, a shoulder problem that he picked up in the Test series against Australia, and de Villiers with a sort of back niggle. They did miss, as you would, those two quality players, and they did struggle with the bat. Sunrisers, having lost the toss, were put in. David Warner up top once again with Shikhar Dhawan, probably one of the most impressive opening partnerships in the IPL. And they managed to get rid of Warner early. Tymal Mills, of course, making his debut in the IPL. Exciting for English fans. And to be honest, getting Warner early to leave them 19 for 1, they would have thought they would have had half a chance. But that top order of Sunrisers is so powerful, and there's so many different weapons there. I think Yuvraj Singh made 62 from just 27 balls and looked brilliant. Although, having said that, I was staggered by the length RCB bowled. They just kept bowling short to Yuvraj, and he just kept slapping them through mid-wicket, and it was easy at times for him. Eventually Mills got him, I think, really with pace, which was good to see as someone who Moeen Ali described as the fastest bowler in the world at the moment in pre-match, which is a big claim. But he certainly beat Gale for pace in that game in England last year, and beat Yuvraj for pace, but the damage was already done. He had been dropped in the 20s off Chowdhury. It was a simple catch, really. I think it was Aravind down at fine leg, and he really should have taken the catch, and that proved probably the game. But even having said that, Moises Enriquez also made a fine half-century, and a couple of big hits from Ben Cutting at the end. It was a really impressive batting performance all round from Sunrisers, nicely paced, and they made 207 off their 20 overs, and did really well. I really enjoyed the way they went about the game, and lots of clean striking. It was a decent pitch, relatively true. It wasn't terribly quick. I note that Enriquez at half-time said that he felt it was a bit slow. RCB was set 208 to win, the target they've never successfully made in IPL cricket, despite their superstar lineup of batsmen over the years and indeed now. But as I say, they were missing Kohli and de Villiers, and I can't understate how big that was for them. They started, Chris Gale came out and poked around for a couple of balls and then unleashed two mammoth sixes. The first six he hit was one of the biggest strikes I've ever seen in terms of height. Just went careered straight up almost, and I was sure he must be caught, and it just kept going, and went for six. It was a huge hit off Ashish Nehra, I think. And then 2 balls later, he did a similar thing to Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, although a bit straighter and harder down the ground. But they did get him for 32. Dave Warner took a really good catch, actually, off Huda down at long off. It's a really important position. And Warner's one of the best outfielders in the world. And he took an excellent catch, and that actually looked like it was the game. I think they were 60 for 2 after that wicket, just after the end of the power play. And Travis Head and Jadhav batted quite well together until Head was undone by Rashid Khan, and I'll talk about him in a minute. The young Afghan leg spinner, and yeah, he was undone, caught by Yuvraj. That was actually Khan's second wicket. He got Mandeep with a lovely googly. But I think that the turning point came with Ben Cutting's run out of Jadhav. It was really brilliant. The 116 for 2, and Jadhav's coming back, and Cutting runs him out from 40, 45, 50 yards away. Direct hit out by a decent distance. It was a brilliant piece of fielding, brilliant arm. Cutting's really got that in the locker, and he's turning into a really good all-round cricketer, actually. As I say, hit a couple of big sixes at the end of the innings, did a very good job with the ball, I think he bowled only Bhuvaneshwar Kumar bowled more dot balls for Sunrisers, cutting ball 10 dot balls of his 22 deliveries. So that's a pretty good return, really. A couple of meaty sixes, but in the end, he bowled very well. And as I say, that run out really was the turning point. They never really recovered. Sachin Baby came and went. Shane Watson, who looks more immobile almost by the day. He was the standing captain with both Kohli and de Villiers crocked. And he hit 1/6 and never really got going. And that long tail of RCB kicked in. And they lost by 35 runs and were all out with 2 balls left. Talking points from this game. Well, first of all, Tymal Mills, 24 years old, only plays 2020 cricket, so he's part of this new generation of cricketers, albeit, of course, his own decision, if you like, was not a decision at all, because he has this spinal problem, which means that he realistically can't play 50 over or first class cricket. So he only bowls 4 overs, and he's quick, genuinely quick, excitingly quick. And yeah, I'm not sure he necessarily lived up to his price tag, but 4 overs, 1 for 31, 11 dot balls. No one else for RCB managed even half of that, so that bodes well. And as I say, he got the wicket of Yuvraj. Yeah, I think generally impressed. He's a nice guy. Comes across quite well. He didn't actually know he was playing until about 35 minutes before the game, which was pretty remarkable. Mark Butcher interviewed him for Sky Sports, and he said, "Yeah, it's great to be out here, and I'm looking forward to playing, but I'm not in the team today." And then I can tell you that actually Samuel Badri picked up a problem in warm-up. I'm still getting to the bottom of exactly what the problem was, but so they had to switch the team around, and Mills come in. So that was that change. He's a really talented fast bowler, Tymal Mills. He's one of the best genuine quicks England have had in a long time. So I think it's important that we nurture that. T20 is such an important form of the game. To have someone like Mills, he's a real, he's a genuine live wire. I can't remember us having someone this really genuinely quick, probably since Flintoff in his best days in those spells. Another guy who, by the end at least, couldn't bowl very long. So yeah, really good for him to be playing at the highest level. Great that the ECB have let him go. Albeit he obviously has few responsibilities with them. But there's 8 Englishmen out in India now. Stokes and Butler are probably both going to play tomorrow for Supergiant and Mumbai Indians respectively. So that's exciting. Also want to talk about Rashid Khan, the Afghan leg spinner, his first ever Afghanistani cricketer to play in the IPL, which is really great, both for the sport and for Afghanistan. It's a country that's hugely passionate about cricket, and obviously had a very tough 3-4 decades. So that's terrific that they've got some recognition for the progress they've made with their cricket side. I've met most of them when I used to work in Scotland for Cricket Info. Afghanistan toured there and got to know the team quite a lot, because you've got lots of time to get to know the team in Scotland because it's usually raining. And yeah, a really excitable bunch of blokes is the best way I can describe them. Watching them play darts, which is perhaps not a sport that really pervades in the Middle East, I don't know, was terrifying. I have to say, I didn't feel safe anywhere near the board or really in the same room, but lots of fun. And Khan's a really talented leg spinner. I don't know how good he is at darts, I don't remember him being great. And he's got an excellent googly with which he got his first IPL wicket, getting Mandeep Singh. And it was important, they were 50 odd for none off, just inside the power play, so it was important to get a breakthrough, and he gave him that. And it was a good googly, skidded on, deceived him in the flight and with the turn. So yeah, he's an excellent bowler. There were still a couple of bad balls, as you expect with a leg spinner, although I sort of think you can't have that excuse at this level. This is the highest level of T20 cricket that you can really play outside of T20 World Cups, and a massively pressurised environment. So you have to be able to perform at the top of your game, and so those couple of long hops, that'll be something that will worry, selectors, if you like, for Sunrisers. But other than that, he was excellent, bowled really well, picked up a couple of wickets, I think, and I think 2 for 36 is probably slightly unfair. the whole innings went just under 9, so I suppose he's sort of on trend with that. But yeah, I think impressed, and barring those bad balls, yeah, we can be pretty happy. I've just written RCB question mark question mark. The Royal Challengers Bangalore, yeah, they are a slightly different looking side from the one that made it to the final last year, and Shane Watson alluded to that in post match, saying he's got some different combinations, and whereas Sunrisers look pretty much the same. And yeah, while that might be true, it's not really an excuse. And I admit that they're missing Kohli and de Villiers, but that side is so unbalanced. And you know, with well, who I would affectionately call Rubbish Binny, Stuart Binney at I think he's batting at 7. Which feels high for him. You know, he's an all rounder, but he's probably a bowling all rounder. And with Sachin Baby at 6, so you sort of feel that Shane Watson held himself back to about 5. I think he probably you about a 4. So you feel that's quite a long tail if they found themselves in trouble. Now I understand that the concept is that Gale, Kohli and de Villiers pretty much blow almost anyone out of the water, and I understand that they will, but when they come against good bowling attacks, and you know this is the IPL, there aren't many bad ones, they will likely really be given a hard time. So yeah, that's it's going to be interesting to see how they deal with that. I mean that bowling attack today looked really shoddy. Only Mills and Chahal, who bowled very well, to be fair, went at under 10 and over. Everyone else is in double figures on their economy rates. Shane Watson was pretty terrible, and actually just had quite a poor game all round. You know, they had Travis Head bowling over. Binney grabbed a wicket but didn't particularly impress. Aravind again. Chowdhury, I mean, you have to feel for him. I know he's a Kohli recommendation. You know, he's come a little bit from obscurity. But he again, there's no room for excuses at this level. It's a short tournament. It's a very high level, and Kohli's essentially plucked him from obscurity and gone, I want this guy. I mean, he's played some India A cricket. Did quite well, I think, on the against Bangladesh. He took 4 for against Bangladesh in Hyderabad. I'm just checking that. 4 for 26 against Bangladesh for India A. So you know he's known and done a bit. But in the zone T20s, he went quite a bit. He got a couple of wickets, but there's a couple of sets of figures in the 40s and high 30s. So he's going to go around the park by the looks of things, and I don't think that RCB have enough depth in their bowling attack to really afford that. You know, if it's just Mills, having Badri back will be really important for that, because he's a very, very talented T20 bowler. But in the seam department, I think there's a few worries there. Very finally, for people who watched in the UK, they will have seen Moeen Ali, Rob Key and Shane Warne as pundits. I really enjoyed Moeen Ali, actually. He shaved his head, which I don't think I noticed previously. So he's now obviously got that terrific beard to go with it. So that's excellent. He actually was a very good and very concise pundit. Gave really good analysis. He really just sort of inflated his reputation in my estimations. So I was really, really pleased that Sky got someone on board who's going to talk lots of sense. But speaking of talking sense, I've gone on too long and not talked very much of it. So yeah, that's all from me.